Hi, this Python billing system I developed earlier on, so I just feel I should share it with you guys. Let me show you guys how it works. Okay, now we can enter, let's say we want 5 meters and 6 meters of fabric, maybe blind 9, and supposing we want home delivery of 2 items, we can enter whatever amount of item we want delivered. So all you just need to do is to click on the total there, and right here you get the amount of each item that each item costs. Okay, and we also have calculator here. You can use that to verify most of your purchase. Then the other thing is on this system we have a reset button. I also have sales reference. The sales reference is used in case the sales assistants forgetting clicking on this. Okay, so when you click on total, you get that. Then we have a exit button. So what I will do now is click on the exit, and what you say is you get a dialog box that asks you to confirm if you want to exit the system. If you click on no, you're back onto the system, and supposing you click on yes, you're back into the system. So what I will do now is go to file, new project, and we'll start a fresh new project. So the first thing we do is let's start by importing as follows. From ticking term, import all of the necessary components. I'm going to use random, so I might as well import the random library as well. Import random. Then I want to need my time, import that. I also need date and time there. Next thing, let's give that a name. I'm just going to call it root. Okay, equals tk, and the root dot geometry, just setting the size of my app. Okay, I'm going to make that 1350 by 650 plus 0 coordinate. Let's close that there. Alright, so let's give it a title dot billing system title. Then the title will be to be known as billing systems. Okay, let me close my system here and ask it to loop there. So if I run this now, what you guys will see is just an ordinary frame, but let's save it and run it first. You guys, then you see what will happen. So I'll just call that billing systems. Save. Okay, run it. That's what you get. Just an ordinary frame. Okay, so let's start with the rest of the coding. Okay, the first thing is let's define the frame. So I'm going to call this the top frame. Okay, now I'm calling the frame object that I intend to use, and this frame will be inside the root, which is the app. And then let's say width equals there. So that's the first part of it. So if I save and run, you just see a frame there right at the top. Okay, that is it. Can you see the frame? Right. Then the next thing is, let me define another frame right at the bottom. So I'm going to copy that, just paste it there, and just change these to, let me just call it F1 because I'll be using a lot of this. I'll call that F1, and I'll change the width. Let's change that to 900, and the height 650. Okay, and let's position this to the left. Alright, I'm going to need another one. I will call that F2. Okay, and the width of F2 will be 400, and let's make that 444. Okay, yeah, that's about right. File, let's save it and just run it and see. Right there, so I have my frame defined already. So right here I'll enter my calculator, but I still need to divide this very frame right there. Okay, then the next thing I want to do is let's define some other frames. I'm going to copy this very one itself. Maybe let me paste that underneath there. Okay, I'm going to call that frame F1A. Let's use lowercase F1A. Alright, F1A will be inside frame F1. I suppose you are following. And I just need to reduce that. I'll leave the width as 900 and the height change that to 330. Now let's go for another frame. Okay, what I've just done is copy and paste. The next one is F2A right there. Inside frame F2A, change the width here to the height to 320, and the height remained the same as 900. Now frame F1A, let's change that to top. The side is top. Frame F2A, change that to bottom right there. That is taken care of. Now inside these two frames there's going to be other frames, so but let's run this first. Okay, this is how the framework looks like. Now I need to divide this and this into two before we can continue with the program. Alright, let's define other frames right underneath there. So inside frame F1A, let me just copy it anyway. I will define another frame, so I'll call that frame F1AA. There. Then there will be another one called frame F1AB. That's B. Both frames are inside frame F1A. Now the size, change that size to 400, and the width, change that the width to 400, and the height, let's change that to 430. And the same thing applies to this, and 400 as well. Alright, and this will be left while this will be right there. So let's save and run. Right there, guys, can you see it? So we need to repeat exactly the same thing for this very frame here now. Okay, close that, close that. Now we're making progress. Need more room. Okay, so that you guys can see it. Alright, the next one, let's go for frame F2A right here. I'll enter frame F2A, paste that underneath there, and I'll change the name to frame F2AA. Frame F2AA will be inside frame F2A. The height, the width will be 450, the height will be 330. Okay, now let's have a look at the position. Yeah, we should position it to the left. Right, so let's copy that and complete the right hand side one. That will be frame F2B. Place the B there in lowercase, and the height and width stays the same. Yeah. Okay, let me just get rid of this, copy that and paste it right below here. Those are the two main frames anyway, and these are the dividers right here. All of these down here are the dividers. These are the two main frames. Okay, I guess you guys can see the codes, so let's run it now and see how the system looks like. Right there, that's how it looks like. You can see this is divided into two, and this one is divided into two as well. There's two main frames there, one, the top one, and 1, 2. These two, those are the two I have on the system. Okay, now on the very top frame here, let's enter a label there. So the name of my label will be LBL info equals label. That's the widget I intend to use. It's right to display the following content right inside the frame at the top, or the top frame. Okay, then I need the font. Let's go for Arial. You can change it to whatever font you want, and I'll just make the size, let's make that 60, and bold as well. There. Now, text that I want inside it, let's go for let's enter some space there. And just go for online billing systems. Let's put some more space there. Close that. Then let's say the border equals 10. Right, and maybe anchor it. Let's anchor it to somewhere. Anchor equals, let's make that W, and just close that. Then we also need to assign it to a grid. Dot grid, and that will be in row 0, column 0 anyway, 0, and that is all there is to the heading or the title. So if I run it, let's see, save and run. Okay, let's see what the error might be. Info is not defined. Let's see what I did wrong. Alright, there's an R here. Get rid of that. Run it now. And right there. Okay, so maybe I should find a way of extending this a little bit more. Let's move the space here, save and run. Yeah, that's fine. Get rid of one more space there, and that should do it. Alright, okay, so the next thing we want to do now is let's create some objects. In fact, let's create the calculator interface first. So I'll start by, let me just break that and just enter calculator here and take it down. Alright, for the calculator I will start with the display. Let me go for txt display. Okay, equals entry. So we use the widget called entry, and that will be inside frame number 2, this very frame. Now I'm now using this very frame, and frame 2 should actually be on the right. Okay, that should be right, not left. Let me just copy that and paste it in there. There. Okay. Let's save. No, it's not gonna work yet. Okay. Let's just comment that out. Save and run. Alright. Just to be on the safe side. Okay, then let's continue with the design of the interface. Now we need, let me get this text and just change that to maybe 20. That's the font set. Then the text variable equals, I'm going to call it text input, comma, and the border 40, that might be too much. Insert width equals 6, comma, and let's justify it. Justify equals right. Close that. Now we need to grade it. Let's paste it there and dot grid, and that will be okay. Let it span, column span equals 4, so that should give me 4 rows, 4 columns really. So that is my display. So if I run my system now, let's see what happened. There's a comma missing there. That's it. Run it now. Okay, there's another error. Okay, text input is not defined. Let's copy that and just define that somewhere here, maybe up here or underneath here. I can put up my variables here somewhere. Yeah, that's that. It is now defined. Okay, then run that. Okay, there's one more thing. Alright. Okay, let's just continue anyway. Okay, this is the error right there. Maybe move, or take it back there, that's fine. Alright, the error, that was the error. There's an N missing there. So let's run it again. And right there, so that's my display. Okay, so let's close that, and now we need to create some buttons. Okay, I'm going to start with btn body 7 equals button, and inside frame 2, and the pattern equals maybe 16, and part y equals 16 as well. then border equals 8, and then font color, make that black. Okay, and font, make that 20. Copy, paste. What else do I need? Comma. Then the text on it, let that be number 7. Comma. Then command, in this case, I'll leave out the command for now. Let's just close that. Then dot grail, that will be row equals 1 and column equals 1 as well. Now that will be column 0. Let's make that 0. Yeah, column equals 0. Close that. Alright, so let's run it and see what I've just done. There, that's the button right there. Okay, I can just copy this now. Copy, paste. So those are the 4, and that'll be 1, 2, and 3. So this is 8, 9, and the text content inside here is 8, 9, and this will be the plus. Right, this will be button plus, btn plus. Okay, Control S, press F5, and there. So I'll now speed that up and get back to you guys. Okay, guys, those are the calculator codes right here. Though it's not doing anything yet, it's just for the framework itself. So let me show it to you, show you what we've done so far. So up here we import as follows, then that's the name, and those are the frames that were defined. This is my title, and right here the variable for the display, and here I have all my buttons for the calculator created. So if I run it now, let's run it. Now you see right there, guys. So the next thing we want to do now is to at least make this calculator do something. So let's come in here, right here. Let's declare the following variable. Maybe let's go for operator. Make that equals nothing. There. Then I'm going to create the following function. So that will be function click. Okay, for my function, let's call it button click, btn click. Ask it to click the numbers. Now press enter. Let's declare a global variable there, and the operator that is declared up there. We now need the operator where we can assign values into the operator. Operator equals operator plus, convert to string whatever number is in there, so with an S. That is taken care of. Now let's declare another one. This is for the buttons, okay, to get the buttons working. So let's declare another one. This other one will be btn clear display. That's for the clear button. So let's go for the global declaration as well. Paste that in there, equals clear. And I'm going to need this. I will need this for my text box actually. Paste that in there. And then let's just set the clear function into it right there. We will also require the test input there. So test input dot operator, because we need to be able to assign this somewhere. So that's the operator right there. Let's paste that in there now. Okay, that's taken care of. Alright, we have number we can clear. What about, we need to be able to add everything together, so let's call that btn. btn equals input. That's the name of that. Alright, and we need our global variable as well, so I'm just going to copy all of this and amend as I go. Okay, let's say this one is called sum up. Sum up equals, take that off, that'll be operator. Okay, sum up equals, evaluate the operator, and close that again. Then I need this sum up to come right in here, there, and we also need to clear the system, so clear the operator right there. Okay, for all of that to work, 1, 2 and 3, for them to work out, we now create, let's use what is known as lambda function. So I'll come into the button right here, maybe anywhere here, yeah, right here. I can then enter command equals lambda column, paste my button there, and this time around the button will be button number 7 there. Let me just tab so that you can see it. Suppose you guys can see that is for button number 7. So command equals lambda column button 7. So I'm just going to copy all of that. Just copy that and repeat exactly the same thing for 8. So maybe tab down here, then this one become 8, tab down here as well, paste, that'll be 9. Okay, I'll just speed that up. Okay, this is how the lines of code are looking now for the calculator. Let's take it from the top right here. Okay, bring it down. Here are the functions, and that is the display, this very one. This is for the first rule of the buttons, and take note of the lambda function for the plus sign. Okay, now the second row of the numbers, okay, the third and the last row for the numbers. Okay, so that actually finalize the calculator Yeah, that's it. The calculator is working right there. So the calculator is fine. So I will assume we've completed the calculator. So now let's finish the design of the interface. Okay, let's go for that's the calculator done. Okay, the first thing is, let me define my reference. Okay, let's come here, all the information. Alright, so right underneath here, I'll start as follows. LBL reference equals label. Let's get the spelling right. That's the label. Then the label, I want the label to be inside F1 AA. And I then need a font. My font, let's go for 16. Paste that in there and change this to 16. That's the font. And the text value in it, text equals, let's call that sales reference, comma, border equals 16, and justify, let's justify it left. There. Then LBL ref dot grade, let's place that in row equals 0, column equals 0. Okay, we need a text box to go with it. txt ref equals entry, and we want all of these following values really. And I think we might want it all. Paste that in there, and we want this. I'm going to change this to variable equals, I will call the variable, let's call it payment reference. Okay, which means this variable must be declared. I'm going to copy it and right up here declare that variable. Alright. Okay, the variable is declared, else we will end up with an error. Okay, we now need to, let me change this to 10. I think 16 might be too much for that. Now let's change this. We need to insert width. Insert width. Okay, let's make that maybe 2 equals 2 and comma right there. So come right down here now, say txt ref dot grade. Okay, so that'll be row 0 equals 0 and column equals 1. Right. Okay, let me just give this a try and see what I've done. Let's save, run. Okay, you can see the title and the entry. Right. So what I will do next is just copy that, paste. So I need to now change that to 1 So if I run it right there, so now you get the whole idea. So let me just speed that up and I'll get back to you guys. Okay, this is how the code is looking right now. Okay, so let me separate the first part of it so that you understand it. So that's the first that I created, this is the second one that was copied, the third. Okay, so if I run it, let's run it so that you guys see how it looks like. There, that's how it's looking now. So we just need to repeat the same thing for this frame here, this one, and here for the buttons. Okay, let's come back down. Might as well, let me draw a line there. This is for frame. That's other information for frame 1.1. And for the other frame, let's come down here, paste that in there. Okay, this was the very first one that I put together. Okay, now here is the second one. You can see other information, frame 1AB. That's it right here. Here are the lines of codes that will give you the date, the cost of a carpet, cost of fabric, and cost of binding or binders. There they are, and the cost of delivery right there. Okay, the last frame here, that is for the tax, subtotal, and total. Okay, so have a good look at the codes. Alright, let's even take it from the top so that you guys see it. Import as follows. State the name of your project. Define the frames. That is the heading or title. And here, those are the variables that I've declared. I intend to use all of these variables, and I'll show you where I've used them actually. And here are the functions for the calculator. This is the display of the calculator. Here are the buttons for the calculator. More calculator buttons up to here. Now the rest of the interface design. Take it down so that you guys can work on it. Okay, let's run it now and see. Save and run. Right there, you see how it's looking now. So all that is left for me to do now is just to enter 4 buttons right here to carry out the calculation, just right here. Okay, let's come down here. Just gonna copy this, paste it here. Just enter all the information buttons there. Now, okay, the first button will be known as BTN total. Okay, BTN total equals button. That's the widget that I intend to use, and it will go into F2AB. That's the name of the frame, comma pad equals 16, and y-axis padding equals 16, while the border thickness is 8 equals 8, and font color, make that black, Okay, now I need a font. Just copy that instead of typing all of that. Font is is Arial and 16 and it's bold. Then the width, let's make the width maybe 15 equals 15. Yeah, that's good enough. Okay, now the text, we want some text in it, so I just call that total cost, comma, then command. I don't have that yet, so I will leave that out for now. Okay, then close that. Then now we just need to enter the grade equals row equals 0, column equals 0 as well, equals 0, and that's it. So if I run it, you see the button right there. Let's run it and see. Right there, can you see the button? Okay, so all I just need to do is copy that 1 2 3 and just change the coordinate. This will be 1, column 1. Okay, and this one will be row 1, column 1. Okay, those are all my buttons, so let's change the names. This is exit, and this will be, let's call that reset, and finally we change these to sales reference. There, we can even change the names, BTN ref, and this one is BTN reset. Why this is BTN exit. Okay, run the program now. Right there, you see the buttons in place. Okay, there, that's good. So what we then need to do is just to write a couple of lines of code to take care of the calculations. I'm going to start by writing the function for this exit button, then followed by this very one, and this man, and finally the total. So let's take care of the exit button first. So we just need to write a function here. Might as well add all my function up here just by where I have all the functions for the calculator. So let's put the exit button here. Okay, we define an exit, and maybe let's just call it iExit. Yeah, and maybe we say QExit. That's just a local variable, equals, let's use a message box to prompt the user to confirm if they want the system, if they want to exit out of the system. Okay, ask yes or no. So we'll quit. Now let's just call it billing system anyway. Billing system. So that would be the comment on the message. Do you want to exit the system? So that is that. And the next thing is I'm going to use an if statement, because this function is actually a Boolean expression. So which accepts 0 or 1, yes or no, true or false. So I'm gonna say if exit is greater than 0, so we now call my system root dot destroy and ask it to return, and that is all for the exit. So let's try that out now. Okay. Oh no, it's not gonna work. I was meant to, let's assign it to a command button right down here. Okay, let's exit here, right here. So let's just comma command equals I exit. Yeah, that's that. Okay, it should work now. Right. Yeah. If I say no, and if I say yes, there. Okay. Right. Okay, now that the exit is taken care of, the next thing is let's try and take care of the reset button here, this very one. So let's take care of that now. So to make life easy, I'm just going to copy all of these, copy that, open up another workbook and just paste that in there, select it all instead of doing it individually, and replace all of that with that. Okay, that's it. That's my exit taken care of. Alright, so close that. I didn't mean to save it. No. Okay, right underneath here, underneath the exit, let's declare another function reset. Okay, and paste all of that there, select it all and just indent. Right. Okay, for the following, let me enter zeros in the following. Yeah, that's fine. And the date, I want the date to remain active. Okay, so that is the exit, that's the reset function taken care of. Alright, but this, let's get all of these. So when the system runs, I want that to actually displays right here. Let's paste that underneath here. So which means when I run the system, the first thing you see, there will be 0 values in those ones. So let's come and see what happened. Okay, we need to close that. Yeah, now run it again. Right there. Okay, supposing I enter any value in here, that's it. The reset is meant to get rid of this, but I need to attach that first. Let's come in here and look for reference. Okay, now come into where I have the text box for that. Text box reference. Ref. Yeah, that's it right there. Okay. Right. Since that is there, then that means the reset is not assigned to the button. Let's come to the button right here. Okay. Yeah, command equals reset right there. Okay, so let's run it now and give it a try again. Enter whatever value in there. Let's reset. That's it. It works. Okay, close that. The other thing is let's enter right here dates. Let's make that date as date of order. Let's get that correct here. That's fine. Dot set, and that will be time dot str time. Okay, and will be percentage D, that's for date, percentage M, that's for the month, and percentage Y, that'll be for the year. Just okay, close that, close the bracket. I think I have two brackets there. Yeah, that's correct. Alright, that's for the date. Now let's hope that okay, I have the date here. Let's run it and see if that works. Okay, right there the date is working. That's fine. So let's close that. The next thing we need to do now is let's create another function, and this function will be for, let's use that for the pay reference. I'm going to call it pay reference. Is the reference right there. Okay, so we get in with the pay reference. I'll end up, let me declare a local variable and use the randomization function to get that working. So random dot rand int, okay, randomize the following integer, just enter whatever value in there, maybe, yeah, that's fine, and let's take it up to maybe six figures. Yeah, two more. Right, so that way. Now, okay, let's come back down here and declare the local variable rand ref. Okay, that's just a local variable for me. I think one should do, one would do. Okay, equals strx, and now I need this very pay reference. Copy that, come right down here and just paste that dot set, and that'll be the random function I want in there. So right here, let me just say bill plus that, and that is all. So let's copy this and paste that inside my reference button right here. Yeah, as it's reference button. Yeah, that's correct. So command equals that. So if I run it and click on that very button, hopefully it should work. Now that's it. You see that? So it automatically generates the reference number for the sales. Okay, so that's working as well. So we have reset is working, sales reference is working, exit is working, but the total, we need to take care of the total. Okay, let's go into the total now. With the total, that's going to require some coding, so maybe I should put that right here, up here. Okay, so let's declare another function cost of order. So that's the name of my function. So I'm going to say carpet price okay, that's just a local variable equals float whatever is entered inside the carpet, this very one. Okay, so whatever is entered inside it get. Alright, so that is for the carpet. Now let's make up another one for the binder. Binds price equals, that's exactly the same thing, just paste that there and change this to binds. Right, okay, the next two, just copy this and just change it around. As fabric, change this to fabric and change this to fabric as well. And finally, I'm just going to call this one delivery cost. So first thing first, let's get this as home delivery, and this one will be delivery cost. Okay, I'm not going to use cost of delivery, I have that somewhere. Alright, so that is taken care of. Now the next thing is, now that we have all the price, we now need to get them into individual display area. So carpet cost, that's another variable, local variable. So let's go for pound sign, yeah, and comma str, open a bracket, and pound sign dot 2f. So that should give us 2 decimal place. Right, and just enter my percentage sign as well to assign the value. So the value I want to assign now is this very one, carpet price. Alright, so let's assume the price of this carpet is £15. Let's go for £15 49p. Alright, so I now need to assign this very price to the cost. Let's say cost of carpet, this very one. Copy that, come right down here, paste it there, dot set, and what I'm setting is carpet cost. Paste that in there, close the bracket, and that is all for that. So if I run it, let's say I run it now, but before that let me copy this. I'm going to need that in my command right here. So that's just to try it out. Let's say comma command equals that cost of order. So let's run it and see. So carpet, if I enter maybe 12 and I click on this, I expect it to show here, to display something here. I think something is missing. Let's see what is missing there. Okay, let's take care of that. I think the problem is this. That's supposed to be percentage sign. Oh, sorry, that's supposed to, yeah, percentage not. And so let's put that back. Okay, that's fine. Now let's run it and see one more time. Okay, enter whatever value in there and click on this. Yeah, that's it. It's working now. Okay, so I'll repeat the same thing for the other three. You can just copy. You just copy and we'll just change it around. Okay, let's indent. Okay, we need the names of this very one. So this one will be, the next one will be bind. Let's change that to bind. Bind cost. Paste that in there, and let's bind cost as well. Then we now named the name of this. There we go. Right, so paste that in there, and the name of the name. Then the next one is the fabric. And get the fabric and just change this to the fabric. Right, paste. We need this to be fabric as well, and this one is meant to be right. Then have this as fabric. Alright, let's change the price. Maybe enter 7 there. Maybe 5 pounds 50 right there. And this one delivery will be, let's make that about 4 pounds 50 for delivery. So we need to change the delivery as well. That's delivery right here. And in here that will be cost of delivery really, or delivery cost. That's it. Then we need the name itself. That will be cost of delivery. Right. So hopefully let's hope I've got it all right. So there shouldn't be any problem. So let's run it and see. We find out. So enter some data in there. Just click on this. There, it's working as expected. So all I now need to do is to add up all of these and get the tax add subtotal and the total. So exit. Oh, hold on a minute. Let's see the reset. That's fine. Exit. Yes, that's correct. Now the next thing is let's work out the total. So just the cost of the total cost. Alright, I just add up all of these. Let's speed that up now. So that's fine. There's one thing, maybe when you click on the total should be able to generate reference as well. So let's copy this one and just leave it here, right there. Okay, so let's run it now and see what we've done so far. Run. Okay, we have an error. Okay, this one need to close that. Try it again. Right, so enter some values in there and click on total right there. So everything is working as we want. And I think that will be the end of this tutorial. I suppose you guys enjoy it, but before I leave, let me just show you guys the lines of code. I will take it from the top. Let's have a look at it. Import, then that's the name for the project, and here I have all the frames. Here I have my title, all of the variables, 0 value assigned to the items, the date, and the total cost. This is where I put that together. Have a good look at it. I think you might need to see this. Yeah, let's move it. Okay, that's fine. Alright, that's the total cost from here down here, and this is just a reference in case the sales assistant forget to click the reference button. So we also have the reference here. That's the exit. And right here we have the reset buttons, the reset button itself, sorry, the reset function. And here, that's for the calculator, the function that assigns the numbers to the display of the calculator. This function clears the display, and this function is to work out the equal sign on the calculator. This is the display. All of the buttons created for the calculator, there they are. Those are the buttons. And right here, those are just the label and the text box for each of the items. That's for reference, for carpet, for fabric, for binds, home delivery, and that's for date, cost of carpet, cost of fabric, cost of binds, home delivery. And right here we have the tax, the subtotal, the total, and here those are the 4 buttons. So with that, I will run it again and call it the end of this tutorial. I suppose you guys enjoy it. So you all have a nice day now, and please do subscribe. Bye for now.